Greetings. Today's video is sponsored by Flexispot Premium Standing Desk. If you like the idea of standing, sitting, or even keeping fit while you're working, then this is the desk for you. I've put a link in the description if you want to buy one. But again, I am really pleased with it. It's been so funny today, honestly. I actually couldn't believe the headlines. I've been laughing so much, it's just untrue. Tumbling EV prices saw demand for EVs up 31% in May, says new data. Absolute rubbish. Autotrader data for May showed electric cars saw the biggest increase in demand. This was driven by prices falling, particularly for those aged 3 to 5 years old. Overall, the market was stable in May, with older cars proving popular. Top 10 price rises and falls included below. Now, spoiler alert, I just did a little experiment because I thought I was going mad. What happens to prices when a product with a limited supply sells quickly? When a product with a limited supply sells quickly, prices usually go up. Here's why. Basic supply and demand dynamics. Limited supply, there's not much of the product available. High demand, sells quickly, lots of people want it. Result, sellers realise they can charge more and buyers compete, pushing prices up. Real world examples: concert tickets sell out fast, scalpers raise resale prices, housing in hot areas, limited stock, fast sales, bidding wars, new tech gadgets. Oh, now listen this. New tech gadgets or hot EVs. Early adopters rush in, prices spike, or resale premiums appear. Okay, so we'll go back. So that's ChatGPT's summary. Electric car prices took a tumble in May, and that's resulted in increased demand on Autotrader's website, according to its latest data. Overall, used car prices were stable in May 2025, although they did dip slightly, with the average price of a vehicle at £16,825, down 0.7%. You're wasting your time even doing that. You really are. Especially if you're going to take into account these pre-registered vehicles. You're completely wasting your time. But in the electric market, consumer demand grew by 31% year on year, while prices fell 7.4%. Wow, I don't know about you, but 7.4% sounds like a lot to me. EVs aged 3 to 5 years old saw the biggest price drop, down 11.6% to an average of 18,266, making a used EV of this age cheaper than a petrol model. Petrol model, £18,731. So it's 500 quid cheaper. The cars that saw prices drop the most in May, full list below, was littered with electric cars, with the BMW i5 top of the table with prices down 21.2%. I found the use of the word littered a little bit strange, and just to make sure I wasn't going, a bit mad. Litter, make a place or area untidy with rubbish. I'm not going to say they're rubbish, because they're not. If they suit your needs, then great. If they suit your needs, get one. If they suit your needs and you're going to keep it for a good while, get one. If they suit your needs and you're not going to keep it very long, don't get one, because you'll lose your shirt. If they don't suit your needs and you aren't going to keep it very long, again, don't get one. Or a large number of objects left lying about. Litter doesn't cover everywhere, does it? When something's littered, it's bits dropped here and there. So for instance, if, as they say here, the cars that saw prices drop the most in May was littered with electric cars. Now, I'd expect that to be, a few scattered in there. Not all of them, because then I'd just think they'd put, well, what about this? The cars that saw prices drop the most in May were all electric cars. Why littered? Meanwhile, consumer demand across the used car market rose by 1% last month, and that builds even further on the 10% rise seen. L. James, get some different stuff for God's sake. Or correct your ChatGPT, whichever's typing these up. And that builds even further on the 10% rise seam in May 2024. The number of used car sales completed during the month was also up around 1%, although this was felt more at independent dealerships, where sales were up 4.2% compared to franchise dealerships, where used car sales were down 1.8%. Why would you think that is? Why would you think sales at franchise dealers are down 1.8%? Do you think it's because they're tucked up with EV demonstrators, pre-registered EVs that they can't sell? The cash flow's being affected, they can't go out and buy cars that are selling, i.e. ICE cars. Do you think it could be that? Let me know in the comments what you think. As I say, I keep saying, I've only got 50 years experience in the motor trade. So, you know, I'm a newbie to this. But if I was sales manager at a franchise dealership, I'd be seriously worried. Because I know for a fact, I went to see John the other day. John's been rushed off his feet the last couple of weeks. And guess how many electric cars he's sold? None. Used car sales were down 1.8%. This is like, this is likely due. Now, do you remember last month when the older cars, according to 3 different sources, Cap, Motors and Autotrader, if you read one, 8 to 10 year old cars had gone down and were in abundant supply. If you read the other one, 8 to 10 year old cars had gone up and were in short supply. I mean, it just, where you get your information from. Do you know what? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're getting your information from, because you could give 2 lots of people the same information and they would come out and pick out 2 different lots of results, depending on their bias. This is likely due to an increase in demand for older cars, with the data from Autotrader showing demand for cars over 10 years old, now, was up 10.4%, with price up 2.6% year on year. Honestly, what's a car over 10 year old going to be? And what's 2.6% of it going to be? As of April 2025, the average retail price of a used car over 10 years old in the UK is approximately £6,545. This reflects a 3.3% month on month and 1.4% year on year increase, driven by strong consumer demand outpacing supply in this age bracket. So, old cars have gone up because of strong consumer demand. Electric vehicles have gone down because of strong consumer demand. You see what I mean? It doesn't add up, does it? It's anybody who come up with that statement must have thought, Baz is going to slate me for this. You know, I mean, I know it's not true, but what can I do? What can I say? Boss Skaggs. Those used cars aged 5 to 10 years old also saw demand grow 4.5% and prices up 1.4%. Demand dropped for cars only 1 to 3 years old, down 2.4%, while 3 to 5 year old cars were down 9.1%. Do you know what's coming off lease at the moment? Lots of 3 to 5 year old EVs that there's no demand for and that aren't selling. Oh gosh, Mark Palmer, Head of Strategy and Insights at Autotrader, said, although a slight softening, I wonder if he's going to say nuanced. Now, I've not read this, this is the first time I've read this article, so we'll say, as I say, if I'm wrong, I can just cut this bit out and I won't look stupid. Mark Palmer, Head of Strategy and Insights at Autotrader, said, although a slight softening on the strong first quarter of the year, we've seen a flatter but nonetheless robust used market so far in quarter 2. Retail prices are stable, demand is healthy, well obviously they're not, cars are selling at pace, and on our platform we're seeing huge volumes of highly engaged car buyers. For those retailers able to source sufficient quantity and quality of in-demand stock, this is proving to be a strong combination, with overall transactions ahead of where they were last year. I promise you, I'd not read this article. I've just sat down, looked at it. But I knew it'd be shit. I knew it would be absolute crap, garbage, rubbish, made up stuff, complete stuff that cannot possibly be true in certain market conditions. So the market may be very nuanced, but there are clearly areas of profit potential available, and so I'd urge retailers to make full use of the tools and data we've developed to spot the best opportunities for their forecourts. Yeah, forget those tools, download Autotrader Price Tracker, just look on Autotrader, you'll see what's selling and what's been there for ages. Top 10 used cars that increased in price May 2025 versus May 2024. Hyundai i30 up 12.5%, Porsche 718 Cayman up 10.4%, Mazda MX-5 up 9.2%, Toyota Land Cruiser up 8.5%, Lexus IS up 8.4%, Volkswagen Golf SV up 7.7%, Skoda Octavia up 7.5%, Volkswagen Touareg up 7.1%, Volvo S60 up 7.1%, Kia Carens up 6.9%. Now, do you know what? The top 10 used cars that increased in price list isn't littered with EVs. It's not littered with one EV. No, there's not even one EV just tucked under another one or anywhere close. Now then, let's have a look at the top 10 cars that dropped in price May 2025 versus May 2024. 1. BMW i5 down 21%. 2. Nissan Ariya down 19%. 3. BMW iX down 18.7%. 4. Mini electric hatch down 17.3%. 5. Tesla Model X down 16.6%. 6. Kia EV6 down 16.4%. 7. Tesla Model Y down 16.2%. 8. Jaguar I-Pace down 14.5%. 9. Audi e-tron down 12.8%. 10. Renault Zoe, a little Renault Zoe, little electric car, cheap to run, supposedly. Cheap to charge, not cheap to run, obviously, but down 12.8%. Now that's littered. Or all EVs. Tumbling EV prices saw demand for EVs up 31% in May, says new data. I'd have to call bullshit on that data. I really would. This is a bit I look forward to. Oof. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.